African retailers leave money on the table. The average Kenyan pharmacy loses up to 4 million shillings, that's $30,000 a year, in expired medicine. On top of this, 30 to 60% of the pharmacy catalog is out of stock at any given point, leading to lower revenues and churned customers. All African retailers, be it pharmacies, supermarkets, F&B retailers, face this urgent problem of stockouts and expiries on a daily basis. But what's the root cause? It's manual demand forecasting. An inventory or procurement manager is responsible for ordering up to 10,000 different products every day. But a human brain or an Excel rolling average is not sufficient to take into account how product demand fluctuates with price, discount, seasonality, or weather. Zopa254 is an AI-driven demand forecasting software solution that helps retailers forecast accurately how much they should order so that they don't overstock, leading to expiries, and they don't understock, leading to stockouts. Unlike our competitors in the US or in Europe, which take 3 to 6 months to onboard a new customer and charge $5,000 to $10,000 minimum per month, Zopa254 is fast and affordable. We only take 1 to 2 weeks to model your data, and we only charge 10 cents per SKU. That leads to about $100 to $500 a month for a small to medium retailer, and accounts for only 10% of the cost savings that a retailer will win back from expiries, and doesn't even account for the revenue uplift from having stock shelves. How does it work? 4 steps. 1, we take your POS data. 2, our data ingester automatically cleans and processes your data for modeling. 3, our AI engine selects the best machine learning model for each product and forecasts demand. And step 4, you can view or download the demand forecast from a web application, allowing you to properly stock your shelves to reduce stockouts and maximize revenues, as well as minimize expiries and waste. My co-founder, Kwame Asiago, and I, and our Pan-African team of machine learning engineers, data scientists, and software engineers, we built a prototype, and we're now piloting with 4 pharmacy customers in Kenya, ranging from small to large. We're seeking $200,000 in saves to reach our goal of acquiring 100 customers in 2025. Zopa254 is democratizing AI for African retailers, and we hope you will join us. Thank you.
Questions?
Yeah, thanks for the pitch. That's a real problem. I'm invested in one of the co-founders of one of the biggest e-commerce grocery delivery in South Africa. So we have a similar problem. I think we sell roughly $300,000 worth of groceries per day on our platform. So, how are you? Obviously you've got so many SKUs, and what we've learned is you often have issues with manufacturers. So we've had cases where, for example, Jameson has just been off the shelf for 3 months, you can't find it. Sometimes you have these intermediary suppliers that are holding stock of something that you now suddenly have to go get from them. Have you thought of how you could solve that problem? It's a lot of friction in the FMCG manufacturing space that will influence how you predict what stock to hold, when to buy it, and so forth. Because our manufacturing sector it's got a lot of problems already, even the logistics of it.
Thank you for your question, Nico. This is a huge problem, right? If there are supply shortages in the market, how can you order even if you have demand forecasting? And what we want to build as next product is not just demand forecasting, but supply forecasting. So your typical supermarket, you will understand what the seasonal harvests are like for a particular farmer or distributor, and be able to map that as well. As a kind of intermediary solution for our customers, they have a list, a hit list of who do they call to, let's say, restock Panadol. If they're not there, go to next supplier, etc. But we want to start collecting supplier data as well, so we can actually foresee and predict if there will be a stock out sometime soon, based on supplier patterns as well. Thank you.
Next question. very convincing.
I think
Here we
you
go.
are solving a unique space, so no questions.
My question is more on your name, Caroline, because you know Zopa is quite well known in the UK. It's a peer-to-peer lending platform. So why use a name that already exists?
This is a great idea, great question. My co-founder Kwame and I, we went through the Amplify East Africa program, and we were the only team in our cohort to get funding for an idea that's completely different from this. Zopa is a business term for Zone of Potential Agreements. We thought we were going to be an AI chatbot to help with supermarket or pharmacy supplier negotiations. Right now, those negotiations are very, very manual. But when we started working with retailers, we found a more urgent problem, which is they don't know how much to order before they start engaging with these suppliers. So we did pivot, but we kept the name Zopa, Zone of Potential Agreements, and we added the 254 to make us more Kenyan and differentiate ourselves from this UK fintech player. Thank you.
Thank you. First, I think you started off with pharmacies, and then I think postal soup. What are you focusing to focus on to start with the first year?
In the beginning, we started with supermarkets. We validated demand there already. And now we pivoted and now are focusing on pharmacies, and we validated demand there as well. It gives us more conviction that there's many retailers that would use our solution. Right now, we're just focusing on pharmacy and trying to acquire more and more customers in this area, and we'll go back to supermarkets afterwards.
Okay, so you say the first 100, that'll be all pharmacy.
I think it will be a mix of both, because we validated those two segments.
Thank you.
Okay, last question from there.
Sorry?
Any retailer you work with?
Yes, so we have 4 pharmacy customers, small to large. Happy to disclose more in our deal room. And we work with 2 supermarket e-commerce players.
Last question.
Yeah, so maybe to piggyback on the names, I'm actually less than about Zopa, but more on the 254, because ideally you want this to be not only limited to Kenya. But my question is, so thinking about how you can scale fast, right? Because convincing every pharmacy sometimes takes time, even though I think your solution is fantastic, but still, politics and all of that, and some people might benefit from not being very transparent. Have you thought about maybe going upstream more towards like the distributor side, who might, their net commercial benefit might be larger and maybe you can grow faster? Or maybe think more about the whole value chain. Now you demand forecast, you could fund that demand, you could order bulk, those kind of things. So how do you think about scaling potentially a bit faster?
Yes, thanks for the question. So out of the 4 pharmacies we're working with, one of them is a distributor, and we want to, the low-hanging fruit are the retailers, but we want to move back along the value chain as well for distributors, wholesalers, and finally importers. But yeah, that's definitely the plan, to scale as fast as possible. And another way we were trying to scale, we found that a lot of the existing software, they kind of operate like a consulting service. They come in with a huge army of data scientists to understand your data and model it to the T. What my co-founder and I are working on is a plug-and-play solution, more a productized software solution. So you just need to just upload your data and it spits back a forecast. We're automating a job of a data scientist. And we're trying to give good enough solutions that an African retailer can afford and would use. Because it's just 10 times better than manual forecasts.
And our time is up. Round of applause for all, please.